Hey, this is Chris in Las Vegas, and I'm an ex-Christian and evangelical worship leader. And you may have seen this story that came out of Las Vegas, a 20-year-old cold case involving a youth pastor and a young woman. And I'm ridiculously wrapped up in this case, and I have to give you my take. Cliff Notes version, a 20-year-old cold case just got closed in Las Vegas regarding a youth pastor at a specific church, this guy, and this young lady right there. Now, the charges went that he had pushed his wife off of a cliff 20 years ago and collected insurance money. And the reason why I'm doing this story is because I know both of those people very well. Dave Vandermeer and Bernadette were friends of mine 20 years ago at that church. And what really breaks my heart when it comes to Dave and Bernadette is Dave even asked me to play piano at their wedding, and I even wrote an original piece for their wedding. But what was really awful about this whole thing is that I never really trusted Dave, and I didn't play the wedding. And for some reason, as many years that I knew Dave, I never really let myself get close to him. So, what's really devastating about this story is that I never knew, except intellectually, that grief and that pain can be stored up in your body and could well out of you 20 years later, even though the trauma was over. Now, the sad thing about the story is when Bernadette died and we were all at the funeral, I was crying my eyes out because nobody who was friends with Bernadette believed the story for a second that she fell off a mountain. No one believed it. So usually at a Christian funeral, it's a celebration of life, and it's a whole idea that they're going off to heaven to meet God. But that's not how I saw it. I saw it as someone we loved was taken from us, even though none of us had any evidence at the time, and we didn't have the details of the entire story. So what were the details of the entire story? Apparently this guy, David, he was a youth pastor at the church, at our church, and I guess he was sleeping with one of the teenage girls in the youth group. And his wife, Bernie, she knew something was wrong, so she was trying to get a divorce. But he upped the insurance policy for her and then pushed her off the mountain so he could marry the teenage girl that he was sleeping with in the youth group. A couple of years later when she had turned 18. I didn't know that all of that grief would well up inside of me and just explode in the last week with this cold case. Cliff Notes version, at the ending, the guy ended up hanging himself in prison when he was going to be extradited back. And this all just happened this week. I literally took a mental health day off on Thursday when the news had come out because, again, this dude asked me to play piano at their wedding. I am so ridiculously connected to this case. I am freaking out. I don't even want to go back to work on Monday. But the whole deal is sometimes, and how I feel about this whole thing, sometimes churches, organizations, religious organizations will be an environment that helps this shit happen and that will protect someone who can abuse your kids. So by all means, if you see or feel anything in any religious organization where there's leadership and you feel something's wrong, report it. Young ladies like these deserve that, and people who are in youth group deserve you to report what you've seen. Bernie was a sweet soul. She didn't deserve to have the ending she did. She deserved